All right, today going to do something a little different here. Take a look at this 1971, I believe, Fender Precision Bass, mostly original, I believe. So this is kind of a love-hate story. I bought this one online, of course. Original case, and there's a small description. There was nothing bad, and I paid a small fortune for it. It was a deal for what it's supposed to be, but a lot of money. And when I received it, the electronics weren't working right, and it was like unplayable. So no problem. I got a guitar guy. He can fix anything. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it to him on the weekend and we'll sort it out. And then I waited, and then, okay, weeks go by, a month goes by, 3 months goes by. And by the time I took it to him, like way too much time had gone by, between when I purchased it online to be able to come back to the person and say, hey, I don't like this thing and it's got issues. So anyhow, my guitar guy's like, he had it for a week or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I can't make this thing play right. He says there's some kind of, I don't know if he called it a hump in the neck or a slight twist in the neck. However, he's like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So of course, I get home, I'm like all bummed out about it, and I just put it in the closet for at least a year. So I kind of took it back out, and then the first thing that I realized is, one, it's playable in the lower register. So we'll go through that, and then the electronics gremlin seems to be gone. So I have this feeling that he started working on it. Maybe he just hit up a solder joint or something. There was just something wonky going on with the pickup. I was thinking maybe it needed to be rewound or something. It might have just been a pot issue. Not real sure. He didn't charge me anything. But anyhow, basically the neck on this thing is a little wonky. I think everything's all right otherwise. So in the upper register here, it doesn't fret very well when the action is set decently. So what I'm going to do here, one, my plans are I'm going to part this out. So I don't feel right selling this thing as is to somebody as a complete bass because of the neck issue. So instead, I think I'm going to make some people happy, and hopefully they can get parts they need to make their instruments whole. We'll see, and then maybe, just maybe, I might be able to get the money I paid for this thing out of it in that fashion. So the other piece of this is we're going to take it apart. We're going to take a look. I don't know what the heck is inside one of these. I don't even know what the heck is supposed to be inside one of these. I have done some research, some homework a little bit, but I have no idea on like pot dates and whatnot. But we'll get a good idea when we tear it apart. So I think it'll be interesting if you hang around, if you're just kind of looking to look at this video to see what's going on. However, this thing plays decent in the lower range. So one, I'm gonna demo tone wise, but more importantly, so for people that might say be interested in the electronics that I sell eventually, or anything else in this, that you can see that yes, it worked 100% at the time that I recorded this and tore it apart. So I'm just gonna turn the volume up here. And the first thing is, this thing is eerily quiet. Like, yeah, it's got a precision bass pickup, so it should be quiet. I have a lot of basses in there, all got ground issues. Now I'm going direct in to the computer through a recording interface. There's no amp involved in here whatsoever. But this thing up through about the 12th fret or so is actually, very good. All right, so you know, basically the notes for the most part on the G string here. So like no real problems there. But then on the D string, so it's like everything on these last frets is the same note. And the A string I think is similar. Those are supposed to be two different notes. So again, something going on up here, and it's more than just something I think that the truss rod can correct, or yeah, my favorite luthier would have done that for me, no questions asked. So it did play cleaner when I got it back from him, but he'd had the saddles jacked up quite a bit, so it was possible with a higher string height, but I didn't like the higher string height. I mean, I like to be able to play the bass, yeah. All right, so I guess the next thing quickly before we tear it apart, take a look at the tone knob. So when you turn the tone down on this, it just goes low. But not even scratchy. Then the volume. So in my opinion, electronics are 100%. So what I'm going to do here next is stop recording the direct bass. You don't need to hear that anymore because we're not going to play it anymore. And then I'm going to put a table in here, move the camera around a little bit, and then we'll dig into this thing and we'll take a look. Actually, we'll do one more thing here first. Just want to kind of show some things about the bass while it's still in one piece. So one, it's here. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Trying to get the serial number there. That should be good. I can't really see. Yeah, you should be able to make that out pretty well. 320053, I think. But as far as, you know, so looks like original neck plate, that serial number would indicate 1971-ish. So looking around, this here, the wood's a little out around there. I don't know what someone did. This is obviously not the original pickguard. I feel that's probably the original pickup there. I definitely feel this is the original bridge. I have adjusted every single one of the saddles for height, and they're all smooth as can be. So there's that. You know, wow, I think original strap pins. No reason to change those. On the surface, no extra wood. Nothing's been done there. I can tell you right here, there's a little bit of wear on the heel there, a little bit of chatter right there. Very lightweight. This on my bathroom scale was 8.2 pounds. I believe this to be alder. I don't think they made these out of poplar. It most certainly is not ash. There's no grain to it. Maybe this is better too. It looked awful orange. I mean, I guess it still does. I got these lights on so that you can see. But there it is before we tear it apart. We'll take a look at the back of the neck here real quick. So there's our tuners that are awesome. So the neck, there's a little bit, see that kind of gunk there? I think that's, you know, to me this is an obvious refinish on the back. I could be mistaken. But I think, yeah, they just got it over there. I don't see any evidence of any sort of crack or anything they might have repaired. I think it's just shellac or whatever this stuff is. So there's that. Not even beat up on the headstock. And then of course, you know, the logo's kind of ate up a little bit. But all right, So let me go get the table and we'll tear it apart. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get the strings off here first. You can see the tuners actually work. Oops. It's a job for a Scotty string winder. Tuners are a little tight, but these are open face. Of course, they can be lubricated, unlike sealed tuners. All right, here's one string out of the way. I need to loosen that one up a little more. All right, hope you're getting excited watching this. It's not all that entertaining for me, but I got to do it. All right, so we got all our strings off. I'm going to leave those at the bridge at the moment. And then next, we'll just go ahead and take this neck off. I believe I've got the right. Before we go any further, I've already removed from the bass the ashtray cover. Appears to be original. Everything I've seen, that's the right shape. Fender doesn't have any identifiable markings. It's got plenty of age on it. It's not nearly as new as it might appear to be. And then it also had what I believe to be the original thumb rest on there. So if you look at that, I believe that's the original thumb rest. All right, let's see if I have brought the right screwdriver here. Do the job. The other thing that's going to be interesting is, since this has been obviously refinished poorly, as most things that are refinished are, it'll be interesting to see how well or how quickly or not quickly this neck plate wants to come off. I'm hearing a little crunchy that I think has got to do with the finish. I've got the neck supported here on this table, so shouldn't be able to have anything bad happen there. Yeah, with any luck, if that was sticking, it's kind of breaking the seal there of what's going on. Now, as far as the neck goes, I am just going to remove it. We'll take a look and see if we can figure out what date it is, or at least what code's on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be dated in plain text at the heel. Maybe at some point we'll try to run a screwdriver through the truss rod and see how that feels. All right, wow, so that came right off. So again, we've got a nice Fender logo neck plate. So I'm gonna put these screws to the side so I do not lose them. And let's see, carefully, try to remove this neck. She's in tight. Wow, she's in really tight. All right, trying to be gentle with the neck because it does not want to come out. I don't know if it's sticky or hopefully someone hasn't done anything unscrupulous, but it doesn't really look like it should be that tight of a fit. Here we go. It's just old. All right, so any hope of anything that might have been there to identify the neck is difficult to impossible. And I am not seeing any sort of mark there whatsoever. Again, looking at it, there's no reason for me to believe this isn't the original neck. It would be nice to have some wonderful thing listed there, but as far as the neck goes, now that's in my hand, back of it's in pretty good shape for something as old as it is. There's a thing right here. It's like a divot that maybe they filled in with some gunk. Can't really right there. Also, this is a really narrow neck. At first, I thought maybe they carved it up here. I don't think so, but it's very narrow at the nut, which is intact. All right, so we have a neck and tuners. So the next thing that I'm going to do is remove the bridge. So we've got 5 screws holding the bridge in. And it looks like I might be able to do that without even yanking the strings out just yet. Okay. So these screws are in pretty good shape. They're not new for obvious reasons. This thing has obviously been apart before. For the refinish, okay. So here's 3 out of 5 coming out. Now this one was really loose. Okay. So I feel, yeah, that one is, that was a cosmetic screw. That needs another screw. Look at this. So it looked just like the other ones, but obviously not. It's not even, it might be a bolt instead of a screw. Yeah, that was interesting. It was just kind of turning there. All right, so I've got the last screw coming out here. So I got 4 out of 5 screws good. All right, so one thing to note, now I don't know if this is something that maybe somebody's done on some vintage instruments, but you'll have to kind of look close. But see, there's a little O-ring on there. I'll include these. It's a washer, really, a lock washer. So the ends on this bridge, which I don't think has been modified, but they're kind of big. Let me get one of these strings out here and I'll show you what's going on. All right. So there was an O-ring in there because there's a possibility of these string ends going through that hole. So I don't know if that's a common thing. This sure doesn't look to me like it's been modified. That looks like a factory hole. So anyhow, I'm going to put this to the side. I don't think that's what most people are interested in anyway. Take off the knobs next. These just have a little set screw. It's just a flat blade. All right, so these knobs I believe to be original. They look nice on top, which is cool. Definitely got some wear on that one. And then same deal here. Top looks, nice from a distance. But again, I guess this one is in better shape, but it's got some wear on it. I don't think anybody's going to mind. So one of the nicer things here to look at are these plastic pot shafts, because that probably means the pots are original, or at least on the older side. They look ancient, so that's good. So there aren't that many screws left on here. I've actually removed a bunch prior to doing this. I think, being honest, what I think I did is I think I removed most of it for my guitar guy. I only left him with a few to do. Now, what is interesting here is there's no ground wire coming up through here yet. I heard no ground noise whatsoever. You tell me if somehow you did. All right, so I think that's everything we need to get this off of here. Let's see. Probably gonna have to do some desoldering, but the nice thing here is that the pickups, well, I mean, they're there. I think they're solidly mounted at this point, but the bass is intact 100%. So no one has done any funky routing on this thing. Although there's a little bit of indentation that I can see now where maybe someone tried to make it where you could adjust the truss rod outside. So let's take a look at the wiring here. And you've got that giant blue, it's cap resistor. I think they're resistors, right? I'm thinking that stuff's original. I'll tell you what though, I'll go ahead and get the soldering iron out so that I can remove these things. Let me see if I can get the ground wire out of the cavity. Wow. Boy, that is really in there. So I might have to also uninstall the ground wire, but I'm looking at that wiring and I think it's original. So hang on a sec and we'll desolder these things. We'll take a look at the pickups. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in the pickups, as am I. All right, back with the soldering iron here. Going to see if I can get this negative lead off this pot. Just about. Here we go. And then I'm going to take a quick picture of this. Probably a good idea. All right. And I'll take out the positive connection for the pickup, which I'm trying to see, you probably don't have that great a view on. I apologize. Right, so that has freed up our pickup. Now we've got this ground wire to the bridge that was not connected yet. There was no hum, which is very interesting. I can't see it in the bridge cavity. I'm going to try one more time, see if I can just remove it. Boy, it's in there tight. I don't know why that's so tight. So I got a little jacketing here. I think I see the solder joint. Keep moving the piece away from me. I think I'm going to get down here so I can get to it. Try not to mess with the electronics otherwise. I'm just hoping to get this hot enough. Yeah, it's going to come out. Here we go. Come on. It's about ready. There we go. All right. Hopefully my smoke detectors don't go off. It stinks in here now. All right. So I can read that this one pot says 137 on it. It's got some other writing that's covered up. And then this other one, I can't really tell. But take a look. So that does not look like your typical modern wiring. I was kind of surprised to see a shield here. Not so sure if that's meant to be a shield or reinforcement. There's actually like some tape down here at the bottom and then an actual thin piece of metal right here. So I'm not sure if that's stock or not. I don't know enough about these. This isn't like a typical, well, so that's the other thing. So this is not, there's no way that they made that pearloid pickguard in 1971. I mean, tell me if you know something I don't. But so yeah, so this kind of thing here, this is probably something that somebody's done. However, with no ground, it had no hum with no bridge ground. So maybe this is the ticket. I don't know. So there we have it. Well, let's get the pickup out. So use the right screwdriver. Try not to strip these things out. Yeah, I don't see the pickup lifting, so I don't think there are any screws in here. I don't think there are any pads in behind them, or if they are, they're just kind of stuck. So this is where we find out we've got a remarked EMG select set in here or something, right? Better not. Better not. Excuse me. Let's see what we got here. All right. So looks like the wires on this pickup have been extended. You've got, let me bring this up here. So there's these little extension guys there, that red one, which was on a white. And then it's been extended with the black there. So there is a metal cover underneath this with the number 1 on it. Let's try to get these plastic covers off. All right, so actually it looks like it's going to come off of the back plate there first. So there was foam in behind those. And this is what the pickup looks like from the back. And, you know, of course the other one looks the same way. You know, I'm not going to go any further than that because I don't want to hose these. So I will kind of leave these as is. I don't want to even bother exposing the coils. We know it works. You just watched it, right? Hopefully you don't have that sort of short attention span theater going on. So, all right, there we go. So everything here combined, body of evidence, says this thing was pretty much stock, other than that pick guard. So yeah, very interesting. Again, wow, body is really crazy lightweight. Definitely had plenty of guitar bodies that are lighter. And again, really cool. Yeah, someone put a little divot in here, which the pick guard, this pick guard covers, so that they could get in like they were going to adjust the truss rod on the neck. But really nice. No extra wood. And actually, I think the ground is intact. It's kind of low. So right here, I can feel that wire, which is why I didn't just want to magically pull out. So the ground might have actually been doing its job. That is the ground coming right out there. I just was kind of dumb, but I really wanted that to stay with the body anyway. But there you go. So turned out fairly well in my opinion. You know, there used to be a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away some kind of marking in there. So I think in this case we're just going to have to go by the serial plate on the neck for what it was. But yeah, well, why don't we do one more thing? So on the neck, I'll make sure I've got the right screwdriver here for the job. I'm just going to try to see if I can turn this. Okay, so first and foremost, there is something there to turn, bonus. Okay, so it is, oh, sorry. It is loosening. Make sure you can see my hand. It's loosening just fine. It's tight to turn, even after I've loosened it. So I'll have to do some things off camera here eventually, and maybe what I'll do is try to get the neck as straight as I can. I'll put I don't have a good straight edge, but I can just put a string on it, and then take a look with my eyes and see if I can understand. If I can understand what's going on up here, just to convey that better to people. But I think, you know, overall, I think this is a usable neck. Certainly up to the 12th fret. I think it's got hope. So I don't know. There's all sorts of crazy things people do, some involving heat. Some people might, you know, take these frets off and try to level this thing down a little bit. I know that's kind of popular when people go nuts and go fretless. So anyhow, thanks. If you made it around this long, thanks for hanging in there. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. And I do believe this thing was pretty much stock, other than, you know, the poor refinish job and the pick guard. All right, so, you know, if I've got this available for sale somewhere, here's kind of some photographic evidence. If you're a subscriber of the channel, thanks for hanging out. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, I do all sorts of bass videos. That's pretty much what I do. I play a little guitar too, so some of those. So anyhow, thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time.